Yeah, A-Time, yeah. So powerful. Pull up your blood with my homegirl Cherish. Yeah, A-Time.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Lakh and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about law school and the first week of law school. So the background is different. I thought for my law school videos I'd take it a little like more comfortable, more talkative and stuff, because I think I'm gonna call this like a law school like vlog diary, because it's not actually a vlog but more like me just explaining to you guys what things are like in law school and kind of going through the experience with you guys, because I just started, so I'm really new to this. So yeah, I hope you guys like this like more comfortable setup. And so let's get started talking about my first week of law school. So today, as I'm filming this, it's Friday, so it's the end of the week. I just finished my very first week of law school and it was intense. It was really intense. And I'm not gonna say I didn't expect it to be like this, because everything that I've heard from people who have told me about law school and everything I just knew about it before coming into it, I knew it was gonna be intense. You just never know exactly how it's like before you get into it, and then when you get into it you're like, oh. So that was kind of me, and it was intense. So I'm gonna walk you guys through how it was at my school and what we did and how you can prepare yourself for the first week of law school, or if you're applying or if you're even thinking about applying to law school and you just want to know what it's actually like, someone sitting here telling you what it's like a personal experience type thing, then I think you'll really like this video, because I have a lot of thoughts about how it was, and I just want to tell you guys how it was like I would tell my friends or my parents or my family and stuff. So yeah, I think this video will be fun and interesting and informative, to say the least. But yeah, let's start with, I have like little notes of everything I want to talk about, because a lot of things were key things throughout the week. And so first of all, it was orientation. So this week was the first official week of school, and the week before that I had orientation, and for my school we had orientation for 4 days, and I really appreciated that, because I hear from friends that go to other law schools that their orientations are getting shorter and shorter every year. And so I like that my school's orientation was 4 days, because I learned a lot of stuff throughout the 4 days that I think was really valuable and really important to know before starting school. And so some of the things that they taught us, like first it was a welcome and this and that, and I think you all get that, because it's orientation, you're welcome, people are speaking, professors are speaking, and there's other people just welcoming you to the school and telling you what it's like and telling you what the rules are and all of that. But the key thing of orientation that I really appreciated was that at my school they taught us how to actually brief a case, and so that was really useful, because I'm pretty sure everybody there, if not everybody, then most people there didn't know exactly how to brief a case. I know I didn't. It was helpful at orientation. They laid out the structure of what a brief is supposed to look like, what kind of things are supposed to be in there and all of that, and then we went through it together, and then we had a homework assignment where we had a case opinion to read, and then we did a brief and then brought it back the next day. So that was really useful. And it was crazy to me, because what the professor who was teaching how to brief was saying was that sometimes you can get a court opinion that's even just 3 pages long. Like 3 pages, you think that's nothing, right? You just read it, 3 pages, and it's out of the way. But she was telling us how typically it takes people, especially beginners, for a 3-page court opinion, it'll take you about like 2 to 3 hours to brief it. And so when I heard that, I was like, well, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of time for just 3 pages, because you would think it's so easy, but a lot goes into it, because yeah, it's just a lot. But that's like a different story, right? So I'm not gonna get too much into how to brief a case, because I don't think you guys care right now. But anyways, so that was orientation, and then it was cool. We did cool activities to getting to know each other and all of that, so that was fun. And then we had a mock class on Thursday. So on Thursday we had a mock class, and it was a mock torts class, and so basically it was kind of like our actual, like our first torts class, even though officially school is going to start on Monday. But yeah, so we had that class, and that was also interesting. And then the next day on Friday, the last day of orientation, we had our second torts class, and so we had to brief a court opinion and we had to bring it in. So that night I read the case and I briefed it and everything, and yeah, though that was good. That wasn't too bad. It wasn't too crazy because it was just one assignment. We didn't have all the rest of our classes to do. And so I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. Like this will be okay. And it did take a long time, but I thought, okay, this will be okay. And so the next thing I wanted to talk about is cold calls in law school. So if you don't know what a cold call is, it's basically what a professor just calls on anyone. Like anybody they want, they'll just call on you. You don't have to be raising your hand. They'll just call on anybody. And so, or they'll look at their roster and just pick a name and be like, Jessica. And that Jessica will have to answer the question. And so usually what they do too is they don't just ask you one simple question like what is blank, like an easy question. They'll ask you a question and then they'll ask you another one and then another one and then another one and then another one. And so you don't get off the hook by answering just one question. Typically it's multiple questions that you're going to be answering. And so cold calls are really nerve-wracking. Really nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm most definitely not used to it yet. It's only been 1 week and I am not used to it, and I think cold calls really make most people really anxious because being called on the spot, you kind of freeze, or I freeze. And so that's something that law schools are known for, is to do cold calls. And so that was really stressful. And in our first day of class, I was sitting there and just the anxiety of knowing that I could have gotten called on at any moment in class was just had me on my toes, literally. I just felt like I couldn't miss out on any little thing. You know how when you're sitting in class sometimes and you don't even mean to zone out, but sometimes it just happens. Like it just happens and you zone out, whether it be for like 30 seconds or 2 minutes or something. You just zone out and then you come back and you're like, wait, what just happened? And so in law school, I feel like you really should limit the zoning out because you could literally be called on at any moment and then you'll not know what to say, and then that'll be bad. So I wanted to share with you guys that I actually did get cold called on, I think the second day of class or something. And so yeah, it was okay. So I got called on and my heart was like racing because I was just so nervous. I hate feeling like in that spotlight, especially when you're just like, you know, all your classmates are there and you didn't even raise your hand and you just got called on. And so I got called on, and then the first question I answered correctly, and so I was like, okay, this is good. But then he asked me another question and I kind of just choked. The question wasn't even hard. It wasn't even a hard question. It was a simple question, but I literally choked. And I choked and my brain just went blank. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. Sometimes when you're on the spot and you know something, you'll know the answer to something, but your brain just literally goes like blank, flat. Like there's nothing in there. And that's exactly what happened to me. It was an easy question, but my brain went blank. And when the fact that he was asking it to me, just when he was asking, more than paying attention to the question, all I could think about was, oh my god, am I gonna have the right answer to this? And so that was a little messy. And so my first cold call experience, it wasn't the worst, I would say. I think it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best either. But I mean, that's everybody. Most likely it's not gonna be like, you know, all awesome. And a thing to remember if you're about to start school or something is that just be confident, be as confident as you can, and don't be afraid of what other people are gonna think, because literally everybody's gonna get cold called on at one point or another, and most likely people are afraid just like you, and people have a little bit of anxiety just like you, and they're also going to be nervous too. So don't think that you're the only one and you're the only one who's nervous and everybody can see you choking. Like, yeah, everybody can see you, but most likely people are going to be like, damn, that's gonna be me any minute now. So people are pretty understanding, I feel like, and it's not the end of the world. Honestly, when the professor calls on somebody else, everybody's gonna forget about you anyways. So don't worry about how it's gonna come off to everyone, because it's gonna be okay. And cold calls aren't graded or anything. You don't get graded on whether you always say the right thing, and you don't get points reduced if you say the wrong things. The point of cold calls really is just to kind of get you engaged. It's the Socratic method of teaching, to get you engaged and to make sure you're thinking critically and to have you answer questions out loud. And then also with wanting to be an attorney, like just your speaking skills and everything. So I get the concept. It's a good concept, but it's just really nerve-wracking. But that's okay, and I think I'll get better at it, hopefully, as I go. It's only been 1 week. But I'm really glad that I got it over with, because I was actually telling my housemate how just the anxiety of knowing that I could get called on at any moment, it had me so freaked out. Like, it literally was stressing me out. Just that like fear, like this cloud over my head of, can it just happen already? Can I just know what this feels like already? And so when I did finally get cold called on the second day or something, I was scared, but after, it was this release of energy, like, wow, I can do this. I can actually do this. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, before I got cold called on over the weekend, I had been thinking about it. And you know how sometimes when you really just psych yourself out, like you actually just psych yourself out, and it can be the silliest thing. It could just be the stupidest thing, but you'll literally psych yourself out. So what I was thinking in my head was, oh my God, I don't even know if I can do law school if this cold call stuff is gonna keep happening. Like, I don't think I'm capable of answering questions out loud in class on the spot. And I truly was psyching myself out, thinking, wow, I actually don't know if I can do this. Like, I really convinced myself in that moment that, wow, you can't do this. And so that was a really crazy thing to think, and sometimes our brain just does that to us. But then when I finally did get called on, and then after it was over, even though it, you know, I had some questions right, I had some questions wrong, and it wasn't all perfect, but when it was over, it just this like release of energy, like, wow, I can do this. I am capable of doing this. I can answer questions out loud. I can speak in front of all my classmates and my professor, and I can become an attorney, and I can do law school. And so it was just this huge release of energy, like, wow, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And it's just like compared to any other thing that you're afraid of, you think you can't do it at first, but then once you finally do it, you're like, wow, that was not even a big deal. Like when you go on a scary roller coaster for the first time, and then you're so excited afterward because you're like, that was so much fun. And so, not that cold calling was fun by any means, but I'm glad it happened sooner than later, because that energy was just released and I felt a lot better. So that was, yeah, that was a little story about cold calls, because I know a lot of people are worried about that when they're about to enter law school, and sometimes people don't know that about law school. So I just wanted to share that little experience with you guys, because it was, yeah, it had its ups and downs. So as far as classes right now, I'm taking torts, civil procedure, contracts, and then a writing class that we have to take at my school. And the classes so far, they're good. They're pretty good. Honestly, I thought it would be more boring than it is. I honestly, for some reason, was under the impression that when you first start out law school, you just read the most dry, boringest cases ever. But that hasn't been the case at all yet. And I hope they stay interesting. The cases that I read for my classes are actually pretty interesting. There's one about someone who sued Walmart, and the cases are actually really interesting. So I really like that about it, because I just for some reason thought it was going to be super boring. So yeah, the cases have been pretty good. Sometimes it takes a lot to understand the analysis behind it, but I mean, that's what we're basically working on. And so I just keep trying like day by day to get better at that. And then as far as the books go, so this is what one of my torts books looks like. And yeah, so this is a torts book. It's pretty thick, like super thick. And then this is my civil procedure book. And then this is also like pretty thick, big book. And in total, I think I had to get 10 books, so they're not all this size. I think my contracts book is also this size, and then the rest of them vary in size, but I had to get 10 books in total. And if you didn't know, books are really, really, really expensive, so especially law school books. And my 10 books came out to be I think $1,100, around that ballpark. It was $1,100, my books. So that was a hefty price for the books. But I was talking to my mom, and she was saying, you know, it's gonna be okay. You're putting this money in to your education, to these books, but you're gonna get it back out once you become a lawyer and you can do, you know, what you want, and then the money will come back, and it'll come back so much more. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like that's a really positive way of thinking about it. So yeah, the positive thinking. And yeah, so those are my books. And as far as the professors go, I thought law school professors would be a lot more intimidating and dry and kind of just cutthroat than I have experienced. And so all of my professors are honestly so fun and cool. And I know that's really weird to hear about law school professors, I guess. Or else, like, I didn't think that they would be funny. I didn't think I would literally sit in a law school class and be laughing most of the class period. But that's what's happening. And I think all of my professors are actually hilarious. They're actually hilarious people, and I'll just be sitting there laughing like the whole time, and they make it fun. The professors at my school, the ones that I have, they make learning this stuff really fun, and that I really appreciate about my school. And I know that varies from school to school, but that's what I've experienced, and it's just been so fun sitting there learning about stuff and have it be engaging and have it be interesting. And so I really I was a little shook by that, because I didn't know that they would be so cool and so fun, but they are. And so that was really good. So let me talk a little bit about the workload of what I've experienced this past week. And this is what was intense. The workload was the intense part. So if you've talked to somebody who's been to law school, is going to law school, what they really will tell you is that law school is super different than undergrad and different from any other schooling that you've ever done. And I can't agree more, because it is a totally different ball game. And I feel like now undergrad was just like one big party. I feel like, honestly, I feel like undergrad was just like a big party. I know that it was, you know, at the time that was hard. Like at the time undergrad was hard, but now that I'm comparing it to law school, and it's just been 1 week of law school, but I already feel like, whoa. And so let me tell you guys a little bit about my days like throughout the week and what the workload was like. And so yeah, I have like 4 classes, right? And so I would come home from school starting Monday, I came home from school. And so what I made the mistake of doing was over the weekend, I only read for Monday. I didn't read for Tuesday. Like I should have gone ahead, and I'll tell you why at the end, but I should have read ahead, but I only read for Monday. And so my plan was that I would read for Monday over the weekend, and then for Tuesday I would read Monday night, and then, you know, so on and so forth. Like do every day's homework the night before, right? Like a normal person would do, or how you have been doing it throughout all of the rest of your schooling. But that is not a very smart idea in law school, and I really realized that this week, and I'm glad I realized it early on, because now I know what not to do. And so what would happen was every day of this past week I would come home, and me and my housemate, we would chill a little bit, we would eat something, and then we would kind of relax for like maybe an hour tops, like not more than an hour. And then after an hour, so we would get home by like 4:30, and then one of the days we stayed a little bit later, so we got home a little bit later. And so yeah, so we would relax for like an hour, right? And then we would just hit the books. Like we would start our readings, and I kid you not, I'm not even exaggerating, we would not be done until like 12:30, 1:30 in the morning. And yeah, we took like little breaks here and there in between, but those breaks weren't like an hour long or anything. The breaks were like 5-minute breaks, or like a 10-minute break, or a 20-minute break to eat some dinner or something, and then back to the books, back to reading these books. And that really had me so shook, because I knew it would be a lot of work. I knew it would, but like I was saying in the beginning, how you just don't know exactly what it's like until you don't do it. And so that's exactly what happened to me. And I really realized what all these people that had told me about law school and what I had watched from YouTube videos of what law school is like, it finally came into perspective, and I realized that yes, it is super different and it is a lot of work. And it was crazy to me, because I think on like Tuesday or Wednesday, I came out of my room and I was talking to my housemate, and I was telling her how it's crazy to me, because it's not even like I'm slacking off. I'm not even slacking off. I'm not getting distracted. I'm not doing other things. All I'm doing is my readings. All I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing, the assignments, everything. But I'm still not done. It's like 12 midnight and I'm still not done. And that was just so crazy to me, because I'm working so diligently, and I'm working to it. I'm taking 5-minute breaks, you know, here and there, and nothing crazy. It's not like I went out and, you know, went to the pool for like 2 hours and then came back and showered and, you know, this and that. I had been working consistently through from like let's say like 6 o'clock to like 12 or 1 in the morning. And so it was just the craziest thing, and I wanted to share that with you guys, because that is gonna end up happening. And it really took me by surprise, and, you know, took me by a storm, because I wasn't prepared for that. And 2 of the nights, actually last night, Thursday night, I went to sleep at 3 a.m. and then I think it was Tuesday night I went to sleep at 3 a.m. and it was just because I just had so much work to do. It was nothing more than I just had work to do, and it just blew my mind. Like, I keep saying that I was working. It wasn't like I was doing other things. But yeah, so that I wanted to share with you guys that it is a lot of reading, and it is gonna be a lot. But however, I don't want that to scare you guys, because I am doing a lot of work and it is taking me a long time, but I'm actually really enjoying it. It's actually, I feel smarter. I feel like I'm doing something that's meaningful, and I feel like I'm putting my energy, my time into something that's gonna prosper over time. And so it's a good feeling. So I know I said this whole story about how it just took so much time, but I don't want that to take away from how I do feel good, though, even though I'm on a little lack of sleep. But it's not bad, though. I think that if you really want to do this, then you'll feel the same way, and it will be okay. And there will be days that you're gonna be like, this is too much, but at the end of the day, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna get through it, and then you're gonna wake up in the morning and you're just gonna charge through it. And so I think that's really important to note. That I know for myself, when I would watch videos about law school before I started law school, sometimes I would just like exit out of the video before I heard something that was like, oh, it's a lot of work and stuff, because I just didn't want to hear it. But I do want to say that it is meaningful, and I do enjoy doing this. So I know it's a lot of reading, and it's not like necessarily I enjoy sitting there for 6-7 hours and just reading stuff, but I know that there's a goal, there's an end goal to this whole madness, right? And so that makes it not more easy to do, but just it makes getting through it better. And so that's really important to make note of, because don't get scared by what I'm saying. It will be okay. But yeah, so a tip, if you're like literally just about to start or something, a tip, or you know, you're gonna start soon, or you're applying or whatever, it's just good to know. A tip is, and what I was told, but I didn't think it would be that serious, but I do, and I'm gonna start that this weekend, is do the readings for the week. Do as many of the readings for the week that you can on your weekend. So basically what my plan now is, today I plan on doing the readings for Monday. So today's Friday, I plan on doing the readings for Monday. Tomorrow on Saturday, I plan on doing the readings for Tuesday. And on Sunday, I plan on doing the readings for Wednesday. And so this is a really smart strategy, I feel like. I'll let you guys know how it goes after this weekend. But I think it's a really smart strategy because even if you don't get through everything you planned, at least you're still ahead. What I really realized this week of law school is that you can't just do Monday's homework over the weekend and call it a day. That is just not gonna work because throughout the week then you're gonna struggle and you're gonna feel burnt out. And that's how I felt this week. And the reason I think I went to sleep at 3 a.m. 2 of the days was because I was just trying so hard to get the work done, but it's because I didn't do any pre-work for preparing for the week, and I just didn't know. And that's okay because everything is a learning experience, right? So now I know, and it's only gonna be week 2, and so I'm gonna be ahead. And so yeah, it's really smart to do the readings over the weekend because then throughout the week you have more time to process and analyze. And what I was having a hard time with this week was that I was doing the readings and I was understanding them and everything, but I literally didn't have the time to sit there and process everything that was happening. And that's really important. It's in any school, but especially in law school, you need to process what you're learning. And so that process wasn't happening because I kid you not, I had no time to sit there and process and read through my notes again from lecture or anything and process what just happened because I had to start the next day's reading. I had to start the next class's reading. And so when you do it ahead of time, it makes the stress of your week so much less, and it puts the workload so much less of the week, and you can spend more time processing and analyzing things and going to your professors and asking them good questions and all of that. So it sets you up to be really well prepared throughout the week, and it sets you up to be less stressed throughout the week. And I think that's really important because this week really, like, it blew me away. And yeah, so that's definitely something that I suggest and that I'm gonna implement starting today, and I think that's gonna help me a lot. And the last thing I just want to end with is that if you're about to start, you're interested in law school or anything of the sort, then make sure to remember that just because you're in law school doesn't mean that your life is over and you don't have a life. Your life will be different. It will be different. You will be doing different things and your schedule will be different, and you won't have a lot of time to be doing things that you typically would have when you weren't in law school. And so yeah, that is true, but I wanted to stress, and I tell this to myself too, is that try and do things here and there that make you feel good. Like for instance, last Sunday, me and my housemate, we went to the pool and we spent an hour at the pool, and that was just so nice and relaxing, and it just made both of us feel so good. And so things like that, make sure to do it. You call your family, you call your friends sometimes, you know, maybe on the weekend, and talk to them for a little bit and just catch up and stuff. But yeah, you will be different. Your life will be different for the meantime. But when you think of it in a long term, it's only 3 years, and once you push through it, the end result will be so worth it. So yeah, I think that's all I have for the video. I think I got through a lot of things. So I think this video is probably going to be super long. I can't see what the time is because I don't have my glasses on or my contacts on. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of the video, and was this useful? Like, do you want me to do more of this stuff? Just let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, then also let me know. You can also DM me on Instagram if you want to privately message me. I'll put my Instagram down below, and it'll also be in the box. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.